Visiting now with Joe Miller, now from Alaska, but originally from Kansas. Joe, tell us quickly about your Kansas background.
Well, I was born in Osborne and then grew up in Salina. I graduated from Salina Central in 1985. So basically my entire childhood life was spent in Salina.
You were the 2010 Republican nominee in the state of Alaska for the United States Senate. You ended up losing in a write-in battle with Lisa Murkowski. What has Joe Miller been doing since the election?
Well, I'm the chair of the Western Representation PAC, which is probably the fastest growing Tea Party PAC in the nation. In addition to that, we've also started a state PAC. Probably will get engaged in radio, although that's not publicly being announced. I guess to a certain extent now it is. But being engaged in basically trying to raise the awareness across the country about where we're at as a nation and the need to get D.C. back under control. And not just kind of incremental change, but we're talking about a fundamental change in the way that we view and we approach the federal government. And hopefully the Tea Party movement is going to continue to grow and actually bring that message home in a way that we do get fundamental change taken care of in D.C.
Do you see the successes of 2010 leading to a malaise heading into 2012 or more of the energy being built?
Well, one of the things I didn't talk about today is how powerful this movement actually is. When you keep in mind that we've been around for 2 to 3 years, many Tea Party movements 2 years. I don't know what Salina Tea Party is like, but probably in that 2 to 3 year mark. The fact of it is that we have had more influence, more effect on more races than any other movement in recent American history of this size. You look at the progressive left, it's been around for 100 years. You look at the union movements and the other things that really pushed left politics at the center stage, and you can see that our movement, much younger, a significant amount of effect, is only going to have more effect in the future. Even these primary victories that later in the general didn't end up having, the result that some people wanted. I mean, we have Sharon Angle, O'Donnell, myself, Ken Buck. The fact is that those are still victories in their own right, and they certainly have gotten the establishment's attention in such a way that I think that most people that see that, when they really look at the big picture, understand that this is a movement that is arising and not declining. So I think it's going to motivate more activism. I think it's going to motivate more effect, and I think the Tea Party is going to benefit from what happened in 2010.
What do you attribute the success of the Tea Party to?
Common sense ideas, a recognition that our government is upside down, that we can't continue to spend at the level we're at, really a new sense of American values, the foundation that we're built on that we can't continue to steal from future generations, and also a renewed interest in the rule of law, the Constitution, and recognizing that the Constitution does not provide the type of federal government that we have today. It's far beyond the parameters of the Constitution, and that document provides a natural answer to the crisis that we're in, and everyday Americans can understand that. They can read, they can see in the Constitution that our government has gotten out of control, and they're interested in bringing government back to the limits that the founders intended for our federal system.
All right, I can't let you go without asking you about the topic du jour of the day. Donald Trump, is he serious? Is he a serious candidate for the President of the United States? And if he were to run, what kind of support do you think he would get?
Well, I'm not right now at any liberty to start endorsing candidates. I can tell you that any candidate that I endorse had better basically embrace wholly the Constitution. In other words, it's not an incremental reduction in the size of government, fundamental realignment, states with more power. And unless you've got a candidate like that, and I really haven't heard Donald talk about that yet, he certainly has been masterful in the way that he has increased the public discussion about himself. And I think he's raised some issues that are important for the public discussion. I mean, myself as a U.S. Senate candidate disclosed far more voluntarily about my background than the current President of the United States has done. I think it's atrocious that we can have somebody at the #1 office of the United States who thinks he's entitled to keep away from the American public law school records, college records, travel records, etc. We're entitled. He's in charge of the country. He gives up those privacy rights. And I think Donald struck a nerve. I mean, again, one of those common sense things that I think has allowed there to be more of a debate, as there should be. So I support that aspect of it.
Right. While you're on that list, what about ignoring laws he doesn't like?
Exactly. I mean, the DOMA is a good example, Defense of Marriage Act, and then, of course, fighting laws that clearly are constitutional. He's bad for America. I mean, that's what it boils down to. People need to recognize it, and they need to recognize that's the key in 2012 is getting rid of him.
Thank you very much, Joe Miller.
All right, thank you.